All right, so real deal.
My dog.
Yo, something that you've been promoting for years that I want to shine light on is the campaign you've been doing, Justice for Charlie, which is your father.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And do you still have a GoFundMe? Do you still have a active campaign?
So no, I don't have a GoFundMe. What the beautiful thing is the GoFundMe, beautiful tragedy almost, was started when my dad wasn't sick. The idea was like, yo, man, I felt sheepish, but I'm like, I would love, at the time, my money wasn't where it was. I was like, man, I'd love to just get my dad. Like, he'd been through a lot. I just wanted him to go on a little vacation. And the battle rap community showed up. Insane, bro. They gave me like $6,000, and then he got sick. So when he died, instead of sending him on a vacation, I had to use the money from the GoFundMe to bury him. So essentially the most beautiful, I would never talk bad. I might take shots at battle rap once and again, but they put my pops to rest, which is insane, right? Like, but I do have a petition, and what we're trying to do is advocate for stronger HIPAA laws, that hold hospitals accountable for things like medical records, like, because hospitals play games with you, they fuck with you because they have the money.
Hold on one second. Let me start from the top.
Okay.
Because I don't believe I did a good job of letting you explain what happened. Okay. All right. So real deal. Phenomenal battle rapper.
My dog.
I'd love to see how far you came. You know what I'm saying?
It's been a ride, right? We've been around for some time, huh?
For sure. At least, shoot.
You aging a lot better than me.
Nah, you good, man.
I'm all
good.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm a 6.
I'm a 6.
I'm a solid 6, the high 6.
But what I want to shine some light on is a campaign that you've been running for years, called Justice for Charlie. Now, Charlie was your father. You know what I'm saying? He passed away in the hospital.
He didn't pass away. He was killed.
So
There's a lot of power in words, bro. And my bad, I'm not trying to be a cornball by stepping on what you're saying. But just recently I had a battle rap in Germany, for example. And I looked up, where's the Holocaust Museum? I want to go see the Holocaust Museum. No Holocaust Museum. It said, did you mean Memorial for the Murdered Jews? I said, phew. But again, when I say pass away, my father was killed. You know what I mean? So, and again, I'm not a snob that's going to correct everyone every time, but for the sake of this, I always say that.
So can you explain what happened to your father to spread awareness?
Of course. Yeah. And the briefest, because there's so many layers to peel back. Father was 70. Father had some spots on his lung. Father was healthy as far as like walking around, driving around, like looked good for his age. Not going to lie, didn't take the best care of himself, regardless. Goes in, has some back pain right before he's going to do his PET scan to see what his cancer's at. They go look at this stent placement that was in his heart. They're like, maybe it's leaking. And they go, no, he's good. He must be sleeping on his back wrong. Boom. Turns out he has sciatica. When we go in about the lung cancer, they said, great news. It's a little portion. We can cut it out. Again, I know I'm not trying to act like, he had a fucking, a booger or something. Like it's lung cancer. Anyhow, we can cut it out. Cool. The doctor goes, well, I kind of want to look at that stent again. And this is 2 weeks after, just 2 weeks, that they said his stent was fine. I said, now again, we're so happy about the cancer news that we're just like, okay, whatever. They're like, oh, yeah, you just go in. It's like checking the plumbing. That's what they say. Go in. 24 hours later, they send him home. He's sick, diarrhea, vomit, 100-some degree temperature. We have to take him back. When they opened him up, they didn't open him up, but it is an invasive procedure. When they went and checked the stent, they're like, nah, it's good. Nothing wrong. So nothing wrong. So they checked the stent for no issue. But when they did, they gave him an infection. Then they like bullshitted around. They didn't, you know what I mean? So for 9 days, he's in the regular flag, and they're not, I don't know what's going on. He doesn't have positive cultures, all this shit. And again, there's so many layers to unpack to this, but this is the gist. My dad went in July 28th. At 27th, he had the procedure, 28th. He never left the hospital. He goes to the ICU on like August 4th or whatever. He dies September 1st. I have to pull the plug on him. One of the most brutal declines. When I tell you, I mean this. Jesus Christ died a kinder death than my father did. My father's kidneys started to fail, liver started. He's on dialysis. He had to get a wound vac. And think about this. The entire time, he wondered, like, what the fuck happened? 1 minute we're here, like me and you, and they just their process. They're a well-oiled machine. The way they walk you down, like, and so I say that to say, my mother passed in 2013 of cancer. I understand people don't live forever. I understand people make life choices, how they live, all these things. Yeah, I've lost a lot of people. I don't lash out and blame this. And I don't think that the person or people at fault purposefully were like, I'm going to kill this guy. But at the end of the day, my father's insurance paid $615,000 from the moment the stent was placed in April of that year. Now, if you want to remove that, let's just go from when he probably paid about $300,000 for them to treat him for the infection all the time in the ICU. Imagine punching me in the face and charging me for the bag of peas that you give me to fucking reduce the swelling. So anyway, what I'm advocating for is, one, longer statutes. The statute of limitations in Pennsylvania is just 2 years. Why? Why does Minnesota's have a 4? When New York and Pennsylvania have the most cases pretty much of, or top 5 cases of, why does Minnesota have 4? Why in Pennsylvania is the statute longer for receiving stolen property than medical malpractice? Why do they have legally 30 days to give you your medical records, but if they don't, nothing? Why does you need a medical examiner? I'm a school teacher. If you sued me, you sent your kid to my school, he falls, busts his head open, you could sue me. You don't need another teacher to be like, let me see if he was wrong. But for doctors, you do. You need a medical examiner. And, people say police, for example, they back the blue. You think medical examiners can't wait to turn around and tell on a doctor? And then you got to pay them regardless. And I'm talking thousands of dollars, $5,000, $3,000, $4,000, just to get them to look over your medical records that look like hieroglyphics in a fucking cave. There's a lot of holes, bro. I'm just going to say that. And I just, for something, think about this. And this is the last thing I'm going to say on it without getting super soapboxy. They said medical malpractice is John Hopkins said it's the 3rd leading cause of death behind cancer and heart disease. 3rd. Wow. You'll never hear Trump talking about it. You'll never hear the Democrats. You'll never hear any political party. But what they'll tell you, how many people got killed in Chicago over the weekend. How many. Not to say that's not bad and there's not shit. Why the fuck aren't they talking about what's the 3rd leading cause of death? 250,000 people a year. Why? Or if it's bullshit, why don't they openly come out and debunk it? I'm not saying doctors are horrible people. I'm not saying don't send somebody to a hospital. I'm saying we need to do better, man. We need to do fucking better.
Have you ever heard of the podcast called Dr. Death? So it's a podcast about somebody who received his doctorate, all his degrees, all his qualifications, because he worked really hard in school, but he didn't really comprehend what he was doing, and he killed like a whole bunch of people. And the podcast is, I'll send it to you, but the podcast is about like how like the state and federal government had to keep protecting him over and over again, even though I think he killed over like 15 people.
When you peel back the layers, bro, it's insane. Like how many doctors, like the percentage of how many have been sued for medical malpractice. And first of all, when they get sued, like they don't get fired. You know what I'm saying? Like it's, bro, in Pittsburgh, they say steal. Pittsburgh is hospital. Like the hospitals run Pittsburgh. The steel mills crashed fucking eons ago. UPMC, which killed my pops, is in like the top 10 most profitable hospitals in the nation every fucking year. And we are like the 57th most populous city. They run shit. Their mark is on everything. And they've got so many cases of shit that they've done. And it's just, frankly, there's so much to unpack. But at the end of the day, signing the petition, the shirts, all the support, because I don't like how we treat our elderly. We treat like, think about this. If I'm 41, if the news passed tomorrow, Trevor dies, you'd be like, 41? What happened? If I died at 70, you wouldn't even ask a question. You'd be like, oh, that's tough. Why? Why am I supposed to die at 70? Why? Don't you at least want to know why? It's crazy, right? Like, you don't, like, it's nuts. Anyhow, and I again, our moms, our dads, our grandmas, our uncles, they deserve better. They deserve fucking better, man. They protected us. They went to bat for us. They did shit for us. They self-sacrificed everything. We need to go. We need to step up for them.
So let me say this too. There's somebody else in battle rap who passed away of suspected medical malpractice. I don't know if the family wants me to put it out, so I'm not going to say. I'll tell you behind the scenes. But what advice would you give to anyone who's dealing with a family member who's going in for a routine checkup? Like, what would you tell them? Do this, don't do that. Or somebody who's dealing with a death in the family due to medical malpractice. Like, what advice would you give them moving forward?
My first, to answer the first one is, doctors, people that go to, they are very educated. They're very smart. And they are 100%, their opinion holds more weight than ours. That doesn't mean your opinion means shit. When you start to sense like, this doesn't sound right, start to document. Write down doctors' names. Write down exactly what they're saying, because they have a very Henry Ford-like auto-assembly line of passing you on, and the poor nurses are left in the trenches to regurgitate. So, are you a doctor yourself? Remember that? Are you a doctor? I'm not a doctor. That's the big joke, right? Like, you're not a doctor. What do you know? No, you're not a doctor. But something ain't fucking right, right? And if your gut tells you that, I'm not saying you're right, but do the due diligence. Screenshots. Look at the daily plan. They always put that whiteboard up. What are the expectations? What's happening here? Write down the antibiotics they're on. Write down the blood pressure levels. Write down things so you can say, and again, at the end of the day, it's still your word versus theirs, yada, yada. But, man, don't allow them to treat you like a fucking schmuck, because they did that shit to me, and they did it fucking brilliant. Like, they were so brilliant how they man, I hate to say it, they damn near made me kind of assist in what happened to my dad, which is tough. You know what I mean? Like, they're so good at what they do. Like, and I, again, I wanted my dad to be better, so I was blinded. Like, but,
So I will say this too. I have a similar story. It didn't result in death, but I think it's something for people to know at home. So my mother, this is, I think, around like 2014, 2015. She had a cancerous tumor in her chest. And, she goes to the doctor, whatever, and they're like, we're going to do the whole radiation therapy, what they usually do with cancer, right? So she happened to have a friend that was like a big surgeon, whatever. Shout out to Dr. Thompson. And he was like, no. Yeah. That's going to kill you. And he was like, there's another process to where we can use a robotic arm, and we can basically put mercury or whatever's behind the radiation in a needle, and we can try to stick it directly in your chest, and we can try to pump it, like insert it directly into the tumor, and hopefully it shrinks. So instead of you going bald and this and that, like, we're just going to pump it directly into the tumor. And it shrunk and went away. But had that not been her friend, I don't know if I would have a mother right now.
I'm gonna tell you a trippy. My dad was a veteran. Again, my dad was poor when he died. He might have made, and I shit you not, $12,000 a year. Like he
was
did.
a veteran.
He was a veteran.
And that's a whole nother.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he had the VA hospital. He stopped going to them because years before he had some spots on his bladder. They said, remove it. Like, you gotta go. And my dad hated the hospitals, wherever. He's like, randomly, he went and got a second opinion. And UPMC was like, no, you could just laser that out. And lasered it out. He kept his bladder. So he said, I'll never go to VA after that. So he went to UPMC. But again, my point is, everybody you talk to got a story. My aunt, my uncle, my dad, my little brother. I'm not fucking saying let's all, burn the institution down or whatever. But why aren't they held? I teach elementary gym. And I see kindergartens getting taught. And they're taught the police are there to protect. The hospitals are there to fix you. Teachers teach. The most elementary kind of shit. Yeah. All of those professions come under fire. And it's okay, right? You see all the time. A teacher does this at a school. A teacher does that at a school. Police do, and rightfully so. When they fuck up, put their feet to the fire. Why don't we see it as much with doctors and hospitals if they're the third leading cause? The third leading cause isn't teachers doing some wild shit. Why are these ER shows, Chicago Hopes? There's one filmed in Pittsburgh now called The Pit. When are they going to start showing episodes about medical malpractice if it's the third lead? It's wild, man. It's wild. It's again, a lot to it. And again, all I say is, give me a platform, and if you feel like what I'm saying is full of shit, make me look like an idiot, please. I'm not saying I'm a genius on it. Educate me. But they're I've been trying. I've been state senators, everything, man. I'm gonna get some shit done with it. Promise.
So if we have somebody watching, that is in a position to help, or just for the general public that wants to support the Justice for Charlie campaign, where do they buy a shirt? And what other information can you give them?
Okay, so the petition is free. Right? You sign the petition. We have over 10,000 signatures. It's grassroots. You don't have to pay anything. If they're like, if you want to pay for that's kind of you. I probably wouldn't fucking pay him anything because I don't trust any of this shit. Free. Shirt is awesome because my father's logo, which was designed by his only granddaughter, Lilith, my niece, who his daughter passed away, it keeps it in family. And my father, I do believe, that picture is going to be like the Jerry West logo for medical malpractice. When you see that, it's a conversation starter, and you talk about this is for medical malpractice, yada yada yada, and of course, then you get, like I said, the stories about your mom, which I'm so glad that worked out like that. So yeah, shirts are cool, all that merch, that's great. Trust me, that's great. But again, share your loved one's story. Don't just write them off as difficult or, they hate hospitals, or they're always bitching, or they're all, man, sometimes they got a fucking point. There's some shit going, there's a reason they don't like fucking hospitals. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a business. And so share their stories, man. Like, and here's the thing, if this is a big, I've never shared this, but if you want a settlement, I don't know if there's like an NDA or whatever. Share that. Be like, by the way, I just want everyone to know I won for my aunt. I won whatever the settlement was, whatever. So people know that there's hope, because people beat the hospitals a lot. Hospitals settle all the time. And I've never once seen someone like, I sued the hospital, I won. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you have to sign paperwork?
I don't know. And that's the part, right? So but I know a homegirl of mine, I'm not going to put her name out there, homegirl, colleague, on behalf of her sister, won. You know what I mean? Or her family won. But again, I don't know if there's I don't know, so if I sound dumb. But man, it'd be great to hear, you know what I mean? Like some winning stories. Like, hey, yeah, man, hell, this is what I did. You fight the fight. This da-da-da-da. But look, as much as lawyers, if you feel something fishy, call a lawyer. Consultations are free. If one turns you down, call another. Okay? Just fucking, it took me I think I was turned down 27 times until I got legal representation because I had no idea how the process went, but I fucking knew something was wrong. I fucking knew it. 27 turndowns, all of them the same. Oh, this is so complicated. And basically, it comes down to my dad wasn't worth their time, the money. Because
You got to find someone who actually cares.
not only that, well, there is literally a mathematical, this is sick, a mathematical way of breaking down somebody's worth. So you can be, shit, let's say motherfucking, I don't know, let's let I don't know, Jay-Z's 50, so let's say Jay-Z or whatever. I don't know, because that's a bad example. Somebody older, you automatically are worth less money. Now they look at what your potential earnings are. Like they have this mathematical fucking formula. So my dad, even though he served the country during Vietnam, no, he wasn't in Vietnam, but raised 4 kids, great man. But because he had, the bladder cancer, it's like a damaged baseball card. He really wasn't worth shit. And that's you call any law firm, they'll fucking tell you. So the tough part is suing them is very difficult, and it's expensive. And if your loved one ain't worth it, why would they do it? I'm not mad at them for it. So it's crazy.
Justice for Charlie, and is there a website link or is there a link on your Instagram?
Real Deal Raps. You can go to realdealraps.com, change.org, Justice for Charlie. You could reach out to me in any platform. Yeah, and just please, man, keep telling me your stories, reaching out, sending me messages, all that good stuff, man, because I have a book coming out. I just finished the last edits of it, and that'll be probably available within a month, I'm hoping. Yep, so I'm excited, man.
Appreciate you, man.
My dog, man.